Hi, Isaboo. Hello. I'm trying to see if anyone else is going to show up. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. Oh, she can't hear me. Well, I unmuted myself. One moment.
Now, you want to hang out with me?
Oh, yeah. Hi, can you hear me now? Is this better? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Great. I think there's a delay. I think there is a delay. I'm trying to wait for some other people to come in. This is a very important topic. And I even sent out invitations. So let's see. I'm going to give it about 10 more minutes. I know that a lot of other YouTubers are doing some things this evening. Plus, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills came on. So, oh my gosh. Let's see here. Thank you for supporting me, Isaboo. Isabeau. I meant. Okay. The lighting is real bad. We were trying to work with the lighting. So let's see here. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to define it for you this evening. And it has to do with a lot of different things. But it was started around 1970 something. It's just, that's what it was called, critical race theory. And I don't know why it's such a big debate, because it's a theory. A theory means that people can discuss it and bring it to fruition and kind of put it to a test, you know? You can, in theory, you're even giving the people the option to say that it might not be. However, being a Black female, I know it definitely is. It definitely exists. So, but I want to talk about it just to give people some education so that they feel comfortable about it. And that's what I wanted to bring. And I invited people. I've invited some professors who took, but I sent my invitations out very late last night. So I didn't get to, of course, it was a last minute thought. I was like, let me send out some invitations. And because it was a last minute thought, of course, people don't like day before stuff, you know, they want time to plan. And so that's what happened. I invited some YouTubers, but I don't know, there's something about YouTubers I'm finding that, I don't know. Hey, Rose. There's Rose. So it's Rose and Isabel. So I'm just going to wait a while, you guys. There's only 2 of you here. Well, 3 of us here if you include me. Maybe we can talk about what happened today with another channel. Rose, Isabel said hi. Where are you from, Isabel? Let me see. I don't know why other people don't want. I have some really great topics, and no one can tell me that I don't. So I don't know why it's not a full house. There should be at least 1,000 people here. Don't you guys agree? There should be at least 1,000 people here right now. How is it that people don't want to talk about critical race theory? So you are Virginia, DC, but you've been in Florida for 16 years? Yeah, they do. Well, sometimes race can be a mess. race conversations can be a mess, you know? I mean, why don't they want to come out and help clean up this mess? I mean, they are really prolonging the conversations about that avatar too long. I don't even want to say her name. There was a YouTuber today who was on her ASS all day long. She was on her all day long. And the rumor is allegedly, she has been kicked out of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, honey. Oh, goodness. Listen, as I said in my previous video about that particular topic, hi, Kaishan. So you're curious about my intake on critical race theory? I'm going to cure your curiosity tonight, okay? And I'm excited to have this conversation, and I may have more than one. I'm going to define it for everyone. I want to talk about some of the major players. Yeah, she is trying to do a class action lawsuit. I don't know who she's doing the class action with. A class action lawsuit has some parameters in that you have to have a certain amount of people involved, and the business has to have a certain amount of employees. I think the business has to have a minimum of 20, somewhere between 15 and 20 employees in order for you to do a class action. And the reason I know this is because I've had the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and I have had so many rounds. We've done so many dances. If you go back and you look at some of my other videos, I talk very briefly about some of my experiences with companies and the EEOC. So I know all about them. And if you can galvanize and go past them, that would be good. But attorneys, if you have anything discriminatory, prefer that you go through the EEOC, you know, before you come to them if you have something discriminatory. So Kaishan, I'm going to define it. I'm trying to wait and get some more people in here in the chat. I have some really great topics, and I just don't know why people don't show up. And I even waited for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills to go off, which I'm going to be doing tomorrow night. I got some things, that Miss Erica Girardi, honey, I found out some other things this evening about her that I'm going to do some research on, and I'm going to report on tomorrow night. Some of it may have already been touched on a little bit. Listen, some people don't care about her apology at this point. She would have to do, at this point, a broken apology. We would need to see her on her knees, her and that avatar. The avatar needs to get on its knees, and she needs to get on its knees, and we want to see them on her live, praising the Lord and blessing Ples and apologizing to Ples and Bishop and everyone. So you guys, I'm going to tell you this. I wasn't going to say it, but there's only a few of us here. I have an interview next week with Bishop. I'll be putting it out tomorrow. I have to get up with him, and it's mostly going to be about his branding, though, because he and Ples, they're over this, and they feel like that it's just not a good situation. It's not a good situation. So you're not going to really get them to really talk about it. But I do want to talk about his branding. I think that Bishop is, and listen, I'm old enough to be Bishop's mom, really, okay? So, but he is a very, what I would think, very good-looking, very sexy man, you know? And he's smart, he's cool, you know? And I'm just really interested to learn about him, and I know there are a lot of other people out there, and I want to talk about his branding. I want to know what he wants to move forward doing. So you guys get some other people on here next week. I'm going to put it up as a live, And I'll have you guys come on and talk to him, or you can put some questions in the chat, okay? You said it may be too educational for some folks. Well, you know, here's the thing. If this is too educational for you, you shouldn't be marching with Black Lives Matter. And that's real. You shouldn't be out here marching doing it. If you don't want to understand the root cause of, you know, an issue, whether you get it from me or someone else or some other, you know, medium, then you should not be out here running your mouth about anything that concerns race, you know, and talking about my people and why people don't know about my people. Well, why? Because you don't know about your people. That's how I feel. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes and then I'm going to go ahead and start. I was thinking of rescheduling it, but I do want to go ahead and talk about it because I've learned that a lot of people come on after the live. Like the live I did the other night, there were 3 of us, and well, actually 4, including myself. And that right after a lot of people went in and, you know, were watching it. So I really think that it's YouTube, because you guys know YouTube, I got a letter from YouTube about the video that I did on the avatar, the very last one that I did, the live. And they told me that a person had contacted them and said that I had invaded their privacy. So whenever you go back and you read what I put in the description, that's why I put that in the description, because I want to leave that video up. I do believe, allegedly, the photo is her. Also, it's a public photo with the name under it. That name is attached to that photo publicly all over the internet and on Facebook. So I don't know where the invasion of privacy comes in at. I think that YouTube needs to, after this, and I may write them and tell them this as well, they need to develop a policy that you should at least have your face on the banner. If you're going to be out here doing the things that she's done, I am going to write them about that, because I have a good case. What do you guys think about that? Are you guys even still here? Let's see. I'm going to have to start bringing my own popcorn. So I'm still going to, they don't seem to care about anyone but themselves, right? But you know, you do know Google owns YouTube, right? So Isabeau is saying she had to write a paper in one of her classes on her culture, and she had to reflect on herself because she did not know how to answer the question. So you're African American also, Isabeau, or are you mixed? Are you 2 different cultures, in other words? I don't know if people like the word mixed. I think, you know, Facebook and Instagram are sisters. What are you referring to? Kaishan, you said yes, as Facebook and oh yeah, I get what you're, because Zuckerberg owns Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, that I see what you're saying. You said you're just regular black. Me too. I'm just regular chocolate, honey. Kenny Moore got me saying chocolate. She loves to call herself chocolate, so I call myself chocolate. I am going to, I want to go ahead. It's 9:51 now, so I'm going to go ahead and at least read the definition of critical race theory and what some of the scholars say about it. I want to try to bring some of it over here. Can you guys see it? Can you guys see it? I want to pull it up, but I think I have to put it inside the photo. Let me see if it will allow me to do that. I'm going to have to read it. I'm still trying to get used to this. Okay, I'm going to read it then. I want to put it in the chat. I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to it because of copyright issues and things. But I will tell you, this definition that I got came from, let's see, where is this? I think it came from Wikipedia. The first part that I'm going to read came from Wikipedia, and the next part was from UCLA School of Public Affairs. So this is what it says here. Critical race theory, and the acronym for it is CRT, is an academic movement of civil rights scholars and activists in the United States who seek to critically examine the law as it intersects with issues. One moment here. Try to get this. Okay. Critical race theory is an academic movement of civil rights scholars and activists in the United States who seek to critically examine the law as it intersects with issues of race and to challenge mainstream liberal approaches to racial justice. Critical race theory examines social, cultural, and legal issues as they relate to race and racism. So it examines social, cultural, and legal issues as it relates to racism. Critical race theory originated in the mid-1970s in the writings of several American legal scholars, including Derek Bell. For you guys who do not know who Derek Bell is, I'm going to tell you who he is. Derek Bell was the first African-American professor at Harvard University. So let me pull him up. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, Derek Albert Bell Jr. was an American lawyer, professor, and civil rights activist in 1971. He became the first tenured African-American professor of law at Harvard Law School. And he is often credited with critical race theory. So remember earlier I told you it started back in the 1970s. And some other people who were involved. I want to show the photos. Do you guys think Wikipedia will get me if I show the photos? Let me see if I can. See if it will let me. No, they're not going to even they don't even let you copy it. Isn't that something? They will not even let you copy it. No. Oh, goodness. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Let me see. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, let me see. I think I can do it here. I'm going to just try it a little bit. Oh. Okay, it will let me share the screen. So maybe I can share the screen. Usually it lets you add something. Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay, well, you have his name. Let's see here. No, that's for me. That's not for him. So listen to this. I'm not able to. do it. So I'm gonna read here. So Derek Bell, Alan Freeman, Kimberly Crenshaw, who is a professor at, I think, UCLA. I think Kimberly is. Richard Delgado, Cheryl Harris. That's just to name a few of them. So it emerged as a movement by the 1980s. And no one is saying whiteness does not have a value, but I kind of, whenever Black people are talking about what we've gone through, it is very unique. So no one is dismissing white people, but this doesn't, critical race theory doesn't have anything to do with white people, because white people have not been devalued. Black people have been devalued. So the point that, my point exactly is, why is it that there are other cultures, specifically white culture, who does not always value Black people? I think it's changing to some degree because people don't want to be ashamed of their past, and they want to make a difference. At the same time, there's a lot of work, you know? But it says that it emerged, critical race theory emerged as a movement by the 1980s, reworking some of the theories of critical legal studies. That's how they bring into the legal, the social, the cultural, the legal issues, okay? I want to move forward because there's a lot of reading here. Critical race theory sees racism as systemic and institutional rather than just a collection of individual prejudices. So systemic and institutional is the whole piece of it. Like it's within organizations. Because some of us, like, for example, I'm just a normal person. There are times I have experienced racism on an individual level. So when you expand that level into a organization where people are allowed to practice those views, it becomes systemic. It's a system. It's within this, it's in the system, because you have these individuals who go into that space and they bring their systems of beliefs into it. So that's why people say it's systemic and institutional. One of the things, let's see, it also says here, emphasizes how, the theory emphasizes how racism and disparate racial outcomes can be the result of complex, changing, and often subtle social and institutional dynamics, rather than explicit and intentional prejudices by individuals. Because you have some individuals who, as I shared with you earlier, who will not practice, they're not involved, but they're in the system, but they're not involved, and they're non-Black individuals. Let's see here. So the overview, here it is. It also says critical race theory is a theoretical framework. So let's talk about that, okay? When you guys hear theoretical framework, what do you think? Okay, I want to really define it for you here real quickly. Okay, here it is. What is theoretical framework? And I'm really Googling this, okay? It is the structure that can hold or support a theory of a research study. That's basically what I said earlier, remember? Whenever people start talking about theory, it's not facts. Exactly, lady. It's not facts. So why are people so offended by critical race theory? Theory is even in the word. And what it is an opportunity for people to gather information and to have a discussion. That's what it's about. It's not about being racism. Even if it wasn't about Black people in America who came up with this, the professor that I shared with you earlier, even if it wasn't about that, people have discussions about theory all of the time. That's what science is about. Science is about theory. We couldn't create, scientists could not create medicine if they didn't start out with a theory. This pandemic, even though the pandemic is real, the vaccination is a theory. That is why the FDA has not passed it yet. The Food and Drug Administration has not approved this vaccination because they're waiting for the theory to be a fact. Do you guys understand that? Isabeau, you said because it proves there's a negative bias for POC. So explain that. What is it that proves there's a negative bias? You're saying the fact that people don't want to discuss it proves that there's a negative bias? Is that what you're saying? I'm trying to understand why we are an intelligent nation. We are filled with intelligence. I'm trying to understand why intelligent senators love to come out on stage and try to disprove critical race theory. You haven't even had the discussion. But do you know what that's called? Do you know what people who do that? And we're going to get into Ted Cruz because I want to really bring his video on. But people who do that are prejudiced. That's why prejudiced people are called ignorant, because they prejudge things that they do not even have without even realizing the information. So social engineering and critical race theory are different though, Kaishan. I hope I'm saying your name correct. So Lady Raya, you say, that's a series of hypotheticals that can be questioned using the framework through repeatable methods which lead to facts, but they must be challenged over time. You go, Lady Raya. You say that. You say it, girl. That is exactly it. And then you say there are a list of critical theories that date back since the beginning. Of course. Oh my goodness. We couldn't have the light bulb. Okay? If I can't even think of his name now. If he had not come up with a theory for how to, it starts in your mind. Oh, can you define multi-systemic, Kaishan? Can you put in the chat what you mean by that and how that relates to, am I saying that right? Keyshawn? Kashawn or Keyshawn? Keyshawn. I don't know what's wrong with me. I should be able to say these things. I had mini voice diction. That's right. That's what Ted Turner is. He's cognitively dissonant. He definitely is. I would dare say he's just dissonant. He's not even cognitive. Okay. Is Rose still on here? Rose, what do you think about what I've read to you so far? Because I have some more information I want to share with you about critical race theory. So it began as a theoretical movement within American law schools in the mid to late 1980s as a reworking of critical legal studies on race issues and is loosely unified by two common themes. First, CRT, also known as critical race theory, proposes that white supremacy and racial power are maintained over time. That I would say, okay? And in particular, that the law may play a role in this process. It definitely does. The law definitely plays a role in this process. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about critical race theory and the law and some of the things that it has affected with regards to race? I think we just recently had something, George Floyd. May he rest in peace. So, Keyshawn, you actually have a master's in psychology, and you specialize in organizational psychology. What is the I for? What is the I? I can never remember the I. I know it's IOP, something organizational psychology. Is it institution organizational psychology? Industrial. Yes, that's it. Industrial. Exactly. Industrial. So, Keyshawn, where are you in school at UNT Isabel? So where are you in school, or what state are you in school at? Isabel, you said you're in California, right? Oh, that's right, because you said you have your master's. Okay. So are you one of the invitations? I sent you an invitation, Keyshawn, right? Yes. Okay, yes. Are you a professor? But I sent you an invitation, right? I'm texting someone. Oh, you don't? You're in North Carolina. So did the company I work for send you here? Or did the Department of Commerce send you here? You know I'm having a problem with those losers. So I want to move forward and say, okay, so it says first, critical race theory proposes that white supremacy and racial power are maintained over time, and in particular that the law may play a role in this process. So you guys still haven't said to me what you think that means, because I know that we just had the George Floyd. It definitely plays a role because Black people are not treated the same. And also the way the prison system is set up, it's almost as if they have it set up as the new slavery. That's why they want to arrest people. Well, if there's anyone on here with the Department of Commerce, and this is not allegedly, I'm about to sue the pants off of them, okay, for trying to set me up for something bad on a job. And I'll digress with that. So the next thing it says here, second, CRT work has investigated the possibility of transforming the relationship between law, racial power, and more broadly pursues a project of achieving racial emancipation and anti-subordination. Yeah, definitely is. So what do you think about the second part that I read? I'm going to get this for you too. So, in the context of public education, anti-subordination advocates argue that treating members of disadvantaged classifications differently may be necessary to achieve equality of educational opportunity. People come up with the darndest things. On the basis of legal ramifications. Yeah, well, you know, legal ramifications always look at trends, right? That's why they always look at previous cases. That's why attorneys, you know, good attorneys anyway, will look at cases that have already been before courts that are similar to current cases that they may be having. So, yeah. So, yeah, it's called precedents, you know, cases that have set precedents. And sometimes they have to look at those cases because they know if they, you know, don't look at them, you know, their chances of winning are going to be slim to none because there's always been a precedent. There's a precedent set. So there's some that usually means it's kind of in stone. You know, it's hard to change a precedent unless you get crazy people like Trump in office who just go around signing things, not even caring about anyone else, as if he's the only one who lives in this nation. I've never seen a president sit in an office, put out so many executive orders in one day, didn't even consider Congress, as if he's the only one who lives. You talk about narcissism. His narcissism is sickness on a whole new level. A whole new level. That's like me coming in, sitting down, not even caring what my family likes to eat. I'm going to cook whatever it is I like to eat. And if they don't like it, too bad. They can just starve to death. That's crazy. That's a crazy way of thinking. So, why are you saying YouTube attorneys and YouTube cases? It's interesting. You and Isabeau are both organizational psychologists. So I may do a second part to this as well. No, you can't, because the law is established in that foundation. But you can look at how prosecutors and DAs go after certain cultures harder than they do others. So you and Kaishan know each other? Okay, let's see here. I didn't know that. Did you make that up? You said YT equals white. Did you make that up? I think Rose has left the building. So let's see here. So UCLA also says, they talk about critical race theory, and this is what they say. Critical race theory was developed out of legal scholarship. It provides a critical analysis of race and racism from a legal point of view. Since its inception within legal scholarship, CRT has spread to many disciplines. CRT has basic tenets that guide its framework. These tenets are interdisciplinary and can be approached from different branches of learning. So that's why they want to put it in the school system. So I don't understand why people are rejecting it in the school system. Why are people rejecting it in the school system? I am so shocked that I keep getting only 2 people on these lives. I'm wondering if I should, I'm thinking about just starting to do the tape. Maybe I'll come in and do a tape instead of lives and put it out there. Because I should have 1,000 people here. Don't you think I should have 1,000 people here? So really, UCLA echoes what, you know, the professor at Harvard was saying, Dr. Derek Bell was saying back in the 70s. They're just echoing it using different content, but it's the same thing. So, but I want to, now that we've talked that much about it, I want to see, I don't know if you guys, I got to really learn how to move this stuff over to StreamYard. Oh, don't do, okay, lady, right? Okay, I will not do that. I want to, well, like tomorrow I'm going to be doing Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Because I love Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But I don't want to talk about that tonight. But I am doing that tomorrow night as well, which is really kind of interesting, right? We probably can incorporate that to some degree in here. Because do you guys watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Do you watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? My back is bothering me. Gosh. Oh, you do not do that. Okay. Oh, you do. Okay, so what did you think about Sutton whenever I think her name is Crystal? When Crystal said to her, please tell me you're not that girl. Don't be that girl. And then Sutton suddenly starts crying. What did you think about that? While you're thinking about that, I want to share this with you because Ted Cruz is a mess. And I want to see if it will allow me to bring him over here. Oh, you know what? I can save this.
Propagandizing to our children.
Can you hear it? Can you guys hear it? Okay, because this is what Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin says. I want to bring this over because it'd be better if you guys could hear this as opposed to me. Oh, goodness. I am not any good at this StreamYard stuff yet. I think I can download it. Let me try to download it and then see if it will let me. Okay, here it is. Let's see. Okay, it's gonna open in a few minutes, and then I'm gonna try to bring it over. Okay. So basically, Ted Cruz was saying that, I'm waiting for it to download, you guys. Ted Cruz was saying that critical race theory is racism and that it should not be taught in schools, that we're bringing it into the ears of their children. You said he scares you, Ted Cruz scares you? Oh, Lady Ray, you could hear when I was playing it? Is that what you were saying, you and Isabel? I agree with you, but why do so many other people fall for it? And why do other men? So you guys could hear when I was playing it. Okay, I'm going to play it, okay? I'm going to play it then, okay? This is Senator Ron Johnson. Let me back it up a little bit, okay? And this is CNN, okay?
They are propagandizing to our children. They are turning our children away from faith and family and our founding principles and ideals.
How about these school boards across the country that are trying to teach critical race theory, trash our history, present our founders as racist, and divide us by our color of our skin?
Critical race theory is bigoted, it is a lie, and it is every bit as racist as the Klansmen in white sheets.
Since the last...
So did you guys hear that? Did you hear that? That is the most asinine, ass backwards speech. I cannot believe he got out of bed to get up and go do that speech. He actually got out of bed and took the stage and said that. Compared it to the Klansman, which most people think that he's one. What do you guys think about what you heard? So had you heard that before now, Isabel? Had you heard that before now? Any of you? Hey, Queen of Philly's Hoagies and Subs. You're making me hungry. Do you have a restaurant? So it was, you think it's shocking, Isabel? Not coming from Ted Cruz, I didn't find it shocking. I just found it ignorant. And people elected this man to be in office. He's in office. That's why he can stand on stage and make those kinds of speeches. Yeah. And they make policies to oppress, and they eat up all the food. He's gained so much weight, he's pathetic. You don't know Ted Cruz? Is that real? You really don't know him? Let me see what state. Ron Johnson is Wisconsin. Senator Ted Cruz is Texas. I thought it was Texas. I didn't know. I wasn't sure, but I should have remembered, because when Texas had that issue that they had with their electricity, he took a trip somewhere. That's right. He's the one. Yes, exactly. He went to Cancun when they were struggling recently. Yes, it's Texas. You know, Texas, I like Texas. I like going to Texas. I like Texas, but I could never live there because of the way that they think. I could never live there, and I would love to live there. I don't like the tornadoes, but I would even get over the tornadoes because I really like it. Hi, Queen of Philly's Hoagies and Subs. No restaurant yet. So you heard this. Well, he made it the other day, so they must still be playing snippets of it somewhere. Well, I'll bring you guys up to date. I'll bring you up to date on it, okay? Let me see here. if they were to vote on it again, because you know that it went through the Congress this week, and I'm going to tell you how they did with that. Okay, where is it here? I have to get the lady's name because she's from Australia, but she is in Congress. Let's see here. I'm pulling this up for you guys because I want to get her name right. Okay, here it is. Well, they had it. What is her name? I want to find her name. Well, what happened? The bottom line is it did not pass this week. And that's why they're talking about it so much, because it did not pass. It didn't pass. And I'm trying to find the Australian lady that really was gung-ho about having it not pass. Sometimes it appears that they see anything that benefits Black culture and they just tear it down. So they are part of the reason that we need critical race theory. It's because of that kind of thinking. I want to find the lady. I cannot find her name. Let's see. Okay, here it is. My goodness. That's interesting how, now whenever I Google this, I should be able to find it immediately. I found it the other night. I thought that I had saved a copy of it. And evidently I did not. Let's see here. Okay. You know what? It is so interesting how Google finagles your searches. Have you guys noticed that? If Google, because this was all over their site, had her name and everything, and now suddenly it's not there. And I actually thought that I had a copy of it, and I guess I don't. Let's see here. Yeah, there is a lot of work to do. And you have a new generation of people who are very accustomed to intermingling. We raised the millennials. And I know, our kids they intermingled a lot with other culture. So what that means is they didn't come up the way that we came up. I'm speaking about my generation. We were not far removed from, segregation. I think I was the second generation in terms of being integrated, so into schools and everything. So we raised our children, and our children end up in, some of us put them in private schools, but they still, they had peers of different races. So they get to know each other. They're around each other all day. They play football, they play games, they do things on the weekend, they go to each other's parties. And so that generation of people are now up. So hopefully that will push people like Ted Cruz out of the way, because they have different ideas. Good evening, Jaquisha Johnson. How are you? We're talking about critical race theory tonight. Tell me your thoughts on critical race theory. We're talking about it because it's a movement. This week, it did not pass through the Congress, I know, for it to be taught into schools, because they were trying to push for it to be taught into schools. But critical race theory was developed out of legal scholarship. It provides a critical analysis of race and racism from a legal point of view. Since its inception within legal scholarship, critical race theory has spread to many disciplines. Critical race theory has basic tenets that guide its framework. These tenets are interdisciplinary and can be approached from different branches of learning. It actually, a lot of people don't know that it is a conversation that started with Dr. Derek Bell, who was the first tenured professor at Harvard University. And he is the one who created the term critical race theory. And it's just now hitting a lot of us. Al Sharpton and other people used to say systemic racism, but now they're calling it what it was originally called. You know, I know people say white privilege. I don't like to say the word privilege because I think that some people who are privileged like it when you say they're privileged. It makes them feel here, and I don't want them to feel that way, because the reality of that is you should feel about this low for mistreating people or standing by watching it happen. Like all of the people, and with all due respect, because I have Caucasian female friends, I do, but we have open conversations about race, and it really annoyed me, the multitude of white women who voted for Trump, and not only voted for Trump, but on the news you see them coming out not wanting critical race theory to be taught in the schools to their children in certain communities. And it's because they don't know what it means. What happens is they listen to these politicians who really are ignorant, for lack of a better word. Anybody can run for Congress and win. If you're popular and strategic enough, you can run for Congress and the Senate. You can win an election. You just have to be strategic enough and popular enough, get an early start, put your issues out there, go to different organizations, different charitable organizations, do speeches in front of their people and their board, get people to sign you. I mean, it really doesn't take much. It really does not. And then they get up there. Some of them have an agenda. They just want to get up there, get paid, and run their mouth, because they know that when they finally come out, if they're there long enough and they finally come out, they never have to work again. Our tax dollars will pay them forever. Forever, ever. So they know that. So you have people like Ted Cruz, who I think he went to an Ivy League as well. So so the fact that he went to an Ivy League tells you that he is strategically racist. He's not delusional. Delusional means that you're not in touch. He's in touch. He is an intentional racist based on his speech that he did, saying that critical race theory is as bad as the Klansman in white sheets. That's a bunch of crap. And he knows it's a bunch of crap. So he's not delusional. He knows it's a bunch of crap. He is that way himself. Where are you guys all from? So Jaquisha, you said you're annoyed because you've learned from your sisters who have children, and your nieces and nephews who are still in elementary school. And they've had complaints. What complaints have they had? The curriculum is really not as good as it used to be. It really is not. There's some schools that don't even teach history anymore, period. I mean, first they took the PE out. We had all of it. We had history, geography, English, physical education, spelling, and then geometry, trigonometry. We had all of it. So, and then Ron Johnson, You know, they all sat together at a table somewhere and decided that they were going to come out and do those speeches. There really weren't that many people in the audience. I really wish the media had not covered it. I don't know. It wouldn't have changed the bill much. So they had to cover it, you know. Which didn't serve any purpose with our younger generation actually showcasing or encouraging learning skills. Yeah, no, it didn't. It didn't. They've taken things out. And the charter schools started out being a positive thing, and I agree, but charter schools are very focused. There are some topics that are not taught in charter schools either. So I don't think that parents should come out and say what should be taught in school unless they are school teachers. Because the school teachers are saying yes. That's the weird thing. The school teachers and the prisoners, principals, not prisoners, principals, they're saying that it should be taught in schools. But you have parents who don't want it taught in schools. Why would you not want your child to be able to come up with ideas on their own? Because that's how it would be taught as a theory. So it would give the children an opportunity to have a discussion. So you're from North New Jersey. Do you know Teresa? Who's cognitively dissonant? Keyshawn. Hi, Johnson. How do you say that? Is that Futhi? You guys are interesting. I think Rose has left the building. She was supposed to be critiquing me. Yeah, it is. I may come back on and do another talk about critical race theory, and I may bring someone on, like a professor, and interview the person, bring someone on. I sent out some invitations to professors, a couple of them who could not make it because I sent it out last minute and they had things in their schedule. So, and I knew I was doing it last minute, so. So they're afraid of when their children learn the truth, they will feel guilty. Well, I mean, it depends on how you teach your child. It depends on how you teach your child. Can we do it earlier in the day? It depends, because I just passed a very important exam. So during the day, I'm having to do some things. So I'll try. You know what? We actually can do it earlier in the day. I wanted to go ahead and talk about it because it was in the news, right? So the reason I did it at 9:30 p.m. is because of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was on. And, you know, I'm going to do another live about it, though. I'll probably do it and try to do it in the morning time, or around 3 p.m. Eastern time, somewhere like that. You mean like 8 p.m.? Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I do need to push it earlier. So, but I just wanted to have the conversation with you all, you know, and I'm getting ready to get on out of here. And thank you guys for coming. I want you guys to please, even those of you who come afterwards and hear this conversation, please comment. Because I like to know what you're thinking, especially about something like this. I like to know what you're thinking. and your ideas. And I also, you know, if you're on here, if you come after, and this is for people who come afterwards, please give me a like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you can get updates on when I will be vlogging out here. And I know you guys saw my videos, and some of you probably came through here because I was talking about the avatar on the other channel. And just as an aside, I want to say the reason so many people are upset with the avatar is because she has ignited the conscience of people when she mistreated and lied on an innocent person. And her whole thing even tried to dismiss the person's career. Thank you so much. And come again. Thank you, Queen of Philly's Hoagies. My son went to school in Pittsburgh. So I think that, you know, whenever people witness that, people are upset. That's why you're seeing her. And I know a lot of people found me because I did a video on that. I did the video on it because at one point I was also a subscriber over there. And then someone made a comment on the channel that really completely highly offended me, calling people apes. And after that, I unsubscribed and did not go back. And now she's being exposed. She should have apologized. I don't get why people think that they can just say negative lies about people. Negative lies, that's kind of like say negative things about people, put out negative information, and also lie about people and just not be responsible for it. That was on another channel that I was watching, the Avatar. If you look at my previous video, you'll see. I'm not going to speak about that person anymore because they're really getting too much time. They're getting too much time, and they are mean. The Avatar is a mean person. She's very mean-spirited. You're a cracked China teacup. What does that mean? Oh, you used to be over there as well and you unsubscribed, Jaquisha? Yeah, a lot of people found me. But the reason I did that video, I was so surprised about how many people found me that way. I just felt the need to vent. That's a pre-recorded video. And I was like, you know, let me just put this out here and, you know, get this off my chest because that really bothered me. But the people who were there really should be glad that now they know who she is. Now they know who she is. Because you would never think that they would, you know, be with someone like that. Which lets you know that she had a bad spirit going on over there. It was very bad. She had a very bad spirit. You have to stay away from people like that. And then she was on another channel trying to say cursey type stuff to the person. I just tell you. You did like 2 weeks before the blow up you did? Oh, honey. Yeah, that's how a lot of people found me because it so shocked me. I was like, oh my goodness, look at the people who are over here listening to this. You know? And I'm not a person who ever wants anyone to suffer. You know, if you have your avatar up, you know, as long as you're not mistreating people and taking advantage of people, and then you get angry when someone wants to leave your channel and you just start all of this craziness. Phew, child, I'm done. I can't with her. I can't with her. I get nauseous when I go over there. Well, Jaquisha and the rest of you, I've told Keyshawn and I also told Isabel, I'm doing an interview with Bishop next week. I am. We're going to talk about his branding and where he wants to go and things like that. So you guys come back next week, and I'm going to let you guys, come over and, ask if he will allow it, ask him questions, or you can put questions in the chat and, he can answer them as you put them there. But Bishop is doing good. He's doing big things. Bishop and Plez are the two that I would interview. I don't think Plez wants to do any interviews. Though they really want to put it behind them. They don't like, it's a bad thing that's happened. It's not a good thing that's happened. And I can just imagine if I was there and here I am enjoying this. I'm enjoying the, talking and then suddenly that happens. That's like someone has dropped a brick on your head. And now you've got to get up. Why are you saying wow? What's wow, Lady Rhea? Okay, what do you, okay, here for the mind expansion. I know, me either, Lady Rhea. I know. And then what she's doing now, I'm just, I can't get with her. She's duplicitous because she was a completely different person over there. And now when you see her being interviewed on these other channels, she's a different person. That's duplicity. It's like, who the heck are you? It's like 1 minute you're this, and now you're out here, and I mean, she owes some apologies too. Yeah, the Bishop is going to be on my channel on next week. I'm going to be putting out the video. I have to do some final things. We have to do a final chat on it tomorrow and Friday. And yes, I'm excited to interview him and talk about his branding and where he wants to go. So I hope a lot of people will come. I'm going to be upset if they don't. No, I'm not going to be upset. Let me stop. I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to be hurt. So I just want to thank you guys for coming and talking about critical race theory. I may do another one next week, get some other things together. I really want to interview someone about critical race theory and bring them on and talk about it. So be on the lookout for my videos. Remember, if you're here right now, and if you come afterwards, please click the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you can get all these things, so that you can see me, so that you'll know when I'm going to interview Bishop, and also when so you'll know when I'm going to interview a professor on critical race theory, okay? Or maybe a local politician here in Charlotte, who knows? So definitely, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I am trying to grow my channel because I have so much going on that I want to do and put out there. And I have a book I'm working on that I want to bring over and talk about and see what you guys think about it. So I wish I had some music go out. I'm going to really refine this. You can see my green screen behind me, right? I've really got to get it together over here. But thank you, guys. Thank you. So you thought my interview was structured? Thank you. I try to be structured. I had some other things I wanted to go over. It is getting late because I started late. And I just thought that I would go ahead and, do it tonight for you guys. But I appreciate you coming by. I really do. And come back again. And if you watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I'll be doing something on them tomorrow. I may do that one pre-recorded. Because there's some things on Erica that I've heard, and I want to go ahead and put that out there. So allegedly, okay. So thank you for the conversation, and I wouldn't do like Sherelle does. She goes 1, 2, 3, good night. I wish I had some music though. I like the music better. But you guys have a great night. And as always, many multiple blessings and great prosperity to all of you. Okay? Bye.